several speakers to the substantive motion. Do we have any other speakers to the substantive motion? Oh, Councillor Watson, yes, I had you, that's right.
Okay. All right.
Yep,
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just sitting here, it's hard to really think we're talking about the same proposal, same recommendation. On the one hand, we have this development, or this exchange, I should say, presented as the best possible opportunity to the council. On the other hand, we have a very strong view from the local board, the ward councillors, and the local community that this is far from a satisfactory arrangement as far as they're concerned. So I've been trying to make sense of that, especially when the local board, and particularly the earlier deputation that presented to us today, went to the heart of the matter here, and that was to the equality or otherwise of the exchange. And that seems to me we're not dealing with people who are trying to be obstructive. In fact, quite the opposite. They've said that they support the development, but they want the best outcome for the community. That's been their clear view that's emerged, and that in a sense is reflected in their concerns about what's been put up here by way of exchange. And of course, as governors of the great city of Auckland, that should always be foremost in our mind, shouldn't it? Especially in a transaction such as this, that we're extracting the best value. The earlier speakers made reference to that inequality, particularly as it goes to the value of the land and also the quality of the land, which are pretty much the two substantive parts of any exchange. I don't think that was satisfactorily answered. We talked about high level view, but what the local component here, we're talking about a view a little bit more grounded in the area itself. We didn't quite get that. I mean, if anyone's going to know what is the best deal here in a very pragmatic, meaningful sense, you would have thought it was the local community who have stated quite clearly they support intensive development, and the local board as their representatives. They would be the people you would expect to know, and of course backed up by their ward councillors. Now, all those people, all those relevant parties have said that they think that there can be a better value extracted from this exchange. And we're not talking about a short-term development here. This is a very substantial development that will shape this area for many, many decades to come. So in those circumstances, you'd have to ask yourself, and who knows, Fletchers might be amenable to that. They might be sitting there thinking, well, actually, this degree of resentment and ill feeling in a community that we're doing this development isn't desirable, and we can maybe make a bit better offer here, or we can meet these demands, or we can at least consult or work with the people. And I know the Mayor talked, the kind of refrain that we hear about things, let's just get on with it, let's just get on with it. But if we're coming to the crucial point that's going to determine the whole future, maybe it's better just to take a breath here. And I think anyone sitting around this table would have to be impressed by the quality and the precision of views that have been expressed by both the local board and the first deputation. So I would suggest that perhaps Fletchers might be thinking, well, actually, it's in our interest here to try and come up with something that actually does meet the concerns that have been raised here today. I would have thought that would have been indicative of a goodwill from a major corporate. If we vote for the substantive motion, we essentially take that option out. And in so doing, we alienate the local board, who clearly this is the biggest issue that's going to come up for them in this term of council, and the local community. I don't think that's a good position to be in, and I don't think it's an acceptable one in the overall system of Auckland governance. So I would urge people to go for the deferral, which has, I guess, been voted down now, but in absence of that, to actually support perhaps the far bigger principle at stake here, and that is of fair and universal governance, which hasn't really seen too much of the light of day in this discussion thus far. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Watson. Now, just so we've got Councillor Walker, which will be 3 speakers against. We've had 2 speakers for, so I just want to see if there's anyone else who wishes to speak in support of the item, and then we'll put it. Okay.
I'll just add to the comments of Councillor Watson, and I think looking at the big picture, Madam Chair, what I see in this council is a pattern. It's happening time and again, where it doesn't matter what the local community says, it doesn't matter what numbers they turn out in, it doesn't matter what position the local board says, particularly when the local board is on side with their community, and it even doesn't matter what the ward councillors say, and in this instance all of those groups are in alignment. This body's just going to ride roughshod over them at speed without, in my view, adequate contestable advice, without securing the best deal, and in particular promoting development schemes that aren't going to stand the test of time. This is a big hole in the ground. It's going to be subject to flooding. It's going to be subject to all sorts of problems, and we know that. So this is a really dumb deal, in my view, for the future people of Auckland. And it's one of a number of dumb deals we're doing. We've done it with QE2 Square. Now we're doing it with Three Kings, and no doubt we'll do it again. And it's all about precious areas of land, and these areas of land are very precious. They're taonga. But we're sacrificing that, and that's what we're doing again today. So all I can do as a councillor is say that, no, I'm not happy with this, and I think Aucklanders, when they look back on this council, will say, look, here's another poor decision that's been made, and I certainly don't want to be associated with it, so I'll be voting against this.
Thank you, Councillor. Now we've got Councillor Fletcher. We have had 3 speakers against Councillor Fletcher, so do you wish to ask the question?
Madam Chair, I want to sincerely apologise for being delayed. I had a medical appointment, and to be honest, I'm not feeling especially well, but all I wanted to do was to be here to express my own view, which is that we do need development, but are we doing the best for our community? I want to acknowledge the local board in the work that they undertook with Richard Reid. I think this isn't just the polarisation that's been described. I think that there has been a strong desire by everyone to get the right development there, but I am not, on balance, persuaded with the reports that I've received that we are doing the very best for the Mount Ross School, for the Puketapapa of the future. And I regret that we haven't been able to spend a little bit more time exploring some of the concepts that Richard Reid and others have worked with the local board on. And in doing so, I just want to acknowledge the work of the local board today, and to say, because we have moved this at pace, without perhaps assuring ourselves that this is the best possible deal, I can't support it today.
Thank you, Councillor. I've got Councillor Filipaina and Councillor Crum, and then we will... Sorry, did I have a... is our spotting letting us down?
I just thought we were going to put the motion in.
I was hoping.
Well,
Out of our misery.
If we have another whole round of speakers, we might move to that member Taipiri.
I thought we had 3 against and 3 for.
Well, at the risk of being anti-democratic and derelict in my duty to allow people to speak, we allowed Councillor Fletcher, saying she did come late. So Councillor Filipaina's asked a question, and Councillor
No, it's not a question. Have you had the 3-3? That's okay.
You've had the 3 against?
No, I'm not speaking against it.
Are you a for?
Well, that's why I'm going to sort of say.
Then
So if there's another 4, go to it. If not, I'll just be very short and sweet.
I'm a 4.
Okay, we're endeavouring to
Do
stick
you want
with
to go
standing
halves,
orders.
Councillor?
Give us 2 minutes.
I'll give
Give
you
us
2
2 minutes,
seconds
and then if it's okay with you, Chair, 2 minutes, and then I'm done.
Me was 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, Chair, Well, I agree with taking the time, and Kathy's amendment was one of the times to do it, as a result of the deputations we had. I'm not going to canvass what John has covered in regards to it, but I thank Councillor Darby for, and also yourself, Chair, for allowing one under B. Because the amendment hasn't gone through, that is really the last line of defence from my perspective, is ensuring that the Chair and the Deputy Chair of this committee will end up having an oversight and ensuring that what has been raised this morning will be at least looked at, scrutinised, and then put through. That's my 2 minutes. Thank you.
Kia ora.
I
Very
think I
quick
can
one,
match
Councillor
his
Crum,
2
then we'll
minutes,
put it.
maybe even less. I also actually want to refer to B1 and will reluctantly support that, but I realise this is not the intent of that check and balance clause, but I think it's worth highlighting the process that we've gone through as this committee, as ADC, and the fact that we have deferred via the local board request before, and now it's time to make decisions. So thoroughly agree with what the Mayor has said in regards to time to get to it, time to get to this particular voting. Have reluctance around at some point we've got to say, well, we have listened. Councillor Casey referred to us never saying yes to the local board. That might be an interpretation, but we actually have listened to the local board at every step along the way, and time to vote and vote for.
Councillor Crum, we will put the recommendation. And do you want this by division? Absolutely. Right, let's do it.
Your Worship,
Aye.
Councillor Brewer,
Four.
Councillor Casey,
Oh,
Councillor Cashmore,
Yes.
Councillor Darby,
4.
Councillor Filipina,
Aye.
Councillor Fletcher,
No.
Councillor Crum,
or
Councillor Lee,
No.
Member Namani,
4.
Councillor Penrose,
4.
Councillor Quacks,
4.
Councillor Stewart,
4.
Member Taipari,
Aye.
Councillor John Walker,
4.
Councillor Wayne Walker,
No.
Councillor Watson,
No.
Councillor Webster,
Yes.
Councillor Wood,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor House,
Aye.
is carried by 15-5.
Thank you. So I think that's a good opportunity for us to adjourn for just, we'll aim for half an hour. I'd like to thank everyone from the public who's been here. I understand that this is a very tough issue for the local community, and the decision's been made. So let's adjourn till 1:30.
No,
Thank you.